It's like I've done this before.
Yeah, see, most people, when they clean up their desk, they actually look at the things that they're cleaning up. Bamm just takes like a freaking baseball bat and pushes everything, or a shovel and pushes everything off the desk into the trash can and takes it out.
Right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Bamsters. First things first, I have to apologize to Jurgis because this is round 2 of our interview. I accidentally, but very accurately, managed to delete all the audio in a massive sort of declutter exercise on my system, and away went everything. So, Jurgens, welcome back. Welcome back to Phase 2.
Phase 2. A lot of things have happened.
A lot of things have happened. As always, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host is Draconis. Draconis, say hi.
Hey. So I like how you accidentally, very accurately. What?
Yeah, it was accidental completely, but I've managed to again, wipe the whole thing. So very accurate at the same time.
There's no returning of the files, so they're just gone.
I couldn't recover them at all. The Recuva went straight into just wouldn't have it. So here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. Jurgens is the developer for Seacurity Breach, and we are here to discuss that game and that game only. So, Drac, far away.
Jurgen, if you could just maybe describe for our viewers or listeners what exactly Seacurity Breach is, and how you got into making the game.
Simply put, Security Breach is 3D tower defense game, and we are focusing a lot on verticality, user-generated content, and puns. Like, a lot of puns in the story. The thing is that in our game, tower defense games, if you look at like Kingdom Rush, it's a great game. It's a great tower defense game. But enemy pathways, where you can place your towers, and you go from there. But in our game, you can actually influence enemy pathways. There are 2 spots where you place your towers. They aren't like just set in the direct spots. You can adjust your playstyle depending on the enemies you will face.
Okay, so it's a tower defense strategy sort of pirate fantasy game. You had a release on early access on the 17th of December last year, yeah?
Yes, and I wouldn't say pirate, it's like birds versus fishes.
Birds versus fish. See, this is where I thought it was all piratey. So, explain why birds and fish.
Because humans and orcs are overdone.
Yeah, good enough reason for me, dude. Good. Where can I find information about this game?
You can find them on Steam, like Security Breach, on our Twitter and Facebook. We're also posting almost weekly blogs on our webpage, soaphog.com, and all of those posts are also in the Steam page.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Soaphog, because that's something I wanted to ask. I looked at the icon, or I should say the logo that you guys have. How did you guys come up with the name Soaphog?
I wasn't working back then, but from what I have heard, they were looking for something unique and something that Google will like, okay, that's something we can find. Because if you Google like hog or soap together, you get Soaphog. You don't just get pigs or something like cleaning. It's like playing the game of Google.
Yeah, because that seems so opposite of what you would think of. Most people, when they think of hogs or pigs, they don't think of them being very clean.
I mean, our pig is like pristine, clean, bubbly.
Your pig has OCD?
Depends on who you ask.
So, tell me there, Jurgens, my man, development team, whereabouts are you guys?
Could you repeat the question?
The development team, where in the world are you?
We are from Latvia. We are located in a city called Rezekne. It's actually not even the capital of Latvia. Good luck finding that on map.
No, because you sounded a bit Russian to me, and I loathe to say that to people, because that just shows my ignorance towards accents, really.
I mean, I can switch on my Russian if you want, because I live like 40 kilometers from Russia.
Fair enough. How many of you guys are they developing Security Breach?
Actively, I would say. So 1, 2, 3, 8 with a QI tester, and like me, who's more about marketing,
8 people in total.
Yep.
What was your inspiration for this game, and how did you 8 come together?
This is actually our second game.
Right.
I mean, it's not actually second, it's the second game we released on Steam. Because previously we worked on some projects for our schools and stuff like that. Our team is actually really, really young. Some people are still trying to get their magister. No, what comes after bachelor degree?
Masters.
Masters, yeah. Some their master's degrees. When the company started, they were actually just finishing programming, and then 2-3 months, like crash course on Unity, start making games. We did some projects for schools to get experience. Then we released Resurrect, a game that is like dungeon crawler roguelike put on a table that aesthetically looks like you're actually playing and sitting at the table. And then it was Seacurity Breach. It all started as a project that we might do like really quickly. Okay, if I want to tell this whole story, in the beginning, you can actually read in the blog that I wrote. It was an idle tower defense game meant for like quick plays or even on mobile. But we thought, that's too simple. We want to do something more. We have done simple stuff. We have released the game on Steam already, so let's aim higher. And tower defense is a genre that people like. It's stable. Okay, I can speak from my experience. When I was like 12 or 14, we all played tower defense games on Flash, like Miniclip or Congregate or something like that. That's your experience too, right?
It is, yes.
Yeah. So it's not like Latvia only think that plays tower defense in school. But then we start adding things. Like I said, it was orcs versus humans in the beginning. It was orcs versus humans. But it was like too simple. We wanted something unique, something that would set us apart. Then our artist, Margarita, she came up with the idea that it's gonna be fishes versus birds. And it just spun a little bit out of control. And the project that we thought we will do in less than a year is already more than a year in development.
I think that's probably the way with most projects. You have an idea and maybe an idea of a timeline, but things always seem to take longer than you expect them to.
I mean, you want to plan because you are counting, like you are predicting budget, you're predicting the release date. It's better to have a plan. One thing is to have a plan, one thing is to like be able to completely follow the steps, because life and game development, it's unpredictable.
How does this game stand out from other tower defense games? Like, what are the mechanics of this that might differ from some of the other tower defense games that we might see on the market?
Like I said previously, it's fully 3D. You can rotate the map, you can zoom in, and all the good stuff. And enemies take different pathways depending on their skills. The most simple enemy, you will see that they need to take stairs to advance on a higher what's the word? Elevation to get to the endpoint, right? But there are some units that don't need to take stairs, they can jump higher. And because of that, they will have a different pathway than the regular units. And you will have to prepare for that. Or there are assassins that can walk on walls. So it's an extra thing you need to think about. And we have like really in-depth level editor. We are pretty much giving every player the tools we are using to create levels.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I played with the level editor a little bit when I was testing out the game. And one of the things that I learned was to make sure that you turn the water on, because or at least to check things before you get too far in, because I built up a little island and then I turned the water on and found out that most of the island was still underwater.
You have just been used to the fact that our defense, it's a single play, no verticality.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And being able to rotate the map like that was really interesting as well. Some of the different like defensive options that you have, being able to place either on walls or on the ground like that was neat. So far I've been enjoying the different enemy types and how you have to adjust your strategies for that. So the other thing I was noticing too, or at least it looks like you gain XP in each of the levels on these towers so that you can actually like upgrade those towers, but you're also gaining gold at the same time. So it's like this balance of placing things. At least my experience with it was the actual placement of the object seemed to matter more than the object you were placing, if that makes any sense. Like the defenses that you would place on the map could be more effective based on where their placement was.
We have seen that in a lot of tower defense games, you just build a lot of towers and like, okay, let's hope this works. Or you try to create a maze, because that's one of the way the tower defense genre works. And we just wanted to be like, let's make sure that your decisions matter. It's not like, okay, I will place this, it looks fine. Oh, no. It shouldn't be just like that. You shouldn't just breeze through it. Nowadays, people like actually challenge. It's hard games are getting back. And while our game might look like, oh, it's cute and easy, there's actually quite a lot of depth.
And another thing I noticed is there's an in-game, I guess, maybe store or marketplace kind of, where you can earn points towards like purchasing new different types of defenses. Can you go a little in depth on some of the different defenses that folks can get access to as they level up?
After you complete the level, you get set amount of gems. And if you complete it perfectly, like without losing lives or failing in objectives, you get the bonus. And when you have enough of those gems, you can unlock new defenses like a spring trap that just throws enemies up in the air and slows them. Or we will add on Friday. I don't know when this will be releasing, but that would be 8th February. We are gonna release a trap that slows enemies. And the animations are actually, I love it. It's a chicken with a gas mask jumping on a toxic shroom, and it's like spouts out a toxic cloud that slows enemies. Or like catapults that throw boulders, and you can upgrade that they are also doing AoE fire damage and stuff like that.
That sounds like a lot of fun to watch.
I mean, I could show you a GIF.
Yeah, show me the GIF. I'd want to see that GIF.
Give me a second.
Alright, Jurgen, so tell me, this was a mobile sort of based game. You've now moved it across to PC. Is it ever going to come to consoles?
We are looking into releasing it on Switch, because if you've seen our game in action, our UI is like friendly to be ported on the Switch and even phones. The menus are radial, so we don't need to do a lot of work to port it. So that's one of the plans, to release on Switch. And we also think that the audience is perfect in Switch, because people like colorful games or vibrant and a little bit of retro. Because younger people gravitate to it because it looks inviting, and people that are like hardcore gamers, the tower defense are kind of retro genre, and they also might be interested in the game.
Right, so you're going to Switch, PC, and mobile. Those are the three platforms you're going. You're not going to go towards Xbox and PS4?
Can't promise anything.
Now, that's an interesting sort of question. Is the paywall to gain access to PlayStation a hindrance for your team? Because I know you've got to fork out a buttload of cash just to get the dev kit to then develop the game for the PS4. I'm not sure what it's like for Xbox, but I know Xbox is quite forgiving when it comes to putting an indie game on their system, thanks to the unity between Xbox and PC.
We haven't actually looked into a PS4 or Xbox, and even Switch. We are actually looking at maybe getting a publisher, because we have no experience in console market, or we don't have any contacts in Nintendo or like people that are responsible on releasing PC game ports on Switch. So we need to get somebody that knows how that market works.
May I ask the question of which publisher is catching your eye right now?
Whoever will pick us up.
Fair enough.
I'm not gonna burn any bridges right now. Like, no, we need those.
Fair enough. That's a good way to play it.
We'll have to put you in touch with Rachel at Go Publix and see if that'll be a good fit for you.
I'm I'm game. If you can make my work easier and successful, I'm all in.
Well, we're always happy to help in any way we can, because, I mean, that's been one of the great things about the stuff that we've done here on the show, getting to talk to indie devs from all over the place, is just getting to see and talk to folks about how vastly different, like, you know, the process is for each individual and how they approach making games, and you know, just the different types of games and individuals' backgrounds and stuff. It's been really cool. So yeah, we're happy to help any way we can.
Yeah, and I was into expos last year, like in the fall, and I'm really new to the gaming industry. I started only working in September, and I was like pleasantly surprised how everyone is friendly and willing to help and just want to see others succeed. Because you have heard that in business world it's like dog eat dog world, everybody
Yep.
for itself. But in indie video game development, that couldn't be farther from truth.
Yeah, when I was at PAX last year, the cool thing that I noticed a little bit was when I spent probably 90% of my time just in the indie dev area, and everybody there was, you know, so friendly, and it was kind of neat getting to see some of the folks that were working, trying to show off their own game, but they were also going to the other indie dev booths and checking out games and talking of, you know, how they had done certain things in the development. So yeah, that was a really cool space to get to see some of that stuff.
I mean, we are not the EA. We don't need to like keep everything a secret.
Since Drac brought conventions into it, Jurgis, which conventions will you be attending this year?
Actually, nothing is like planned, because even for the ones we attended last year, Latvian Game Developer Association helped us with exhibit costs, and they're actually doing a lot of help for local indie development scene, because we're from Latvia. We don't have history in it. Everybody wants to help each other. But personally, I will most likely attend Nordic Games. It's a more business-focused one. If anybody wants to see me, I will definitely attend CoxCon in Telford, UK.
Right. As I've already, this is a bit of a. If anyone's listening, this is a bit of a preemptive apology. I've already said to Jurgens I will be attending CoxCon as well in Telford, just to provide him with a bacon sandwich and a pint of beer to apologise for having to re-record this episode. So that's the reason why I asked him this question, so I could segue into that.
I mean, talking about CoxCon, there is a small chance our game will be there. I have talked with one of the organizers, Lewis, but like I can't promise anything. So,
well, if you're going, give me a heads up so I can buy a ticket and get myself down there.
I mean, I will go anyway because I bought already the ticket and I have paid for hotel and I just need an airplane ticket. So I will definitely be there no matter what. I mean, unless the world ends and stuff like that.
Well, believe it or not, we have one of our Bamsters guys who lives in Birmingham, and Telford isn't far from Birmingham, I believe. So I'll be probably crashing at his. Happy days.
Yeah, don't feel bad about words switching around in your brain. Every time you say Latvia, I keep hearing Latveria.
I mean, that also works because I like Marvel. I don't like Doom though. Spider-Man, that's my man.
Fair enough. There is a story to this tower defense game. Yes?
Yes, it's set in chapters. Like, there's gonna be 25 levels, and you will be able to go them through normal, hard, and like very hard difficulty levels. And chapters are set up that in each chapter there's a different boss that interacts with you in story-wise. So when you reach chapter 5, you are defending against a special unit with special skills, and story advances in next chapters of 5 with a different antagonist.
Sounds like a lot of fun. So
yeah, and there's also a lot of puns, if that's your thing.
When it comes to that of tower defense, bots, the more bots, the better. So, feedback. This game does sound like a lot of fun, right? So, feedback. Mostly positive? Mostly negative? What is your feedback on Seacurity Breach?
It's mostly positive. We have some balancing issues that we will also address in the next update. we are kind of planning on reworking how upgrading works. So it's more not just statistical boost, but it's more interesting. And the issue is like, yeah, some bugs, some balancing issues, and it's harder than people expect in the beginning. Like somebody said, it took him like 2 or 4 hours to beat level 4. That's might be a little bit overdue.
Yeah, I noticed that some of the difficulty, even on regular, it can get pretty hairy on some of those levels trying to figure out just the right placement to survive through the level.
I mean, if you could play test it in house a lot, it's like, it's easy.
Yeah, but you already know the answer though, don't you?
Yeah. That's why we are planning on streaming with the next update. I haven't looked at the new levels. I don't know anything about them. So that's going to be interesting.
Again, with regards to your sort of feedback, I just want to know if you've been able to tell what genuine criticism was and what trolling was, because there seemed to be an issue with developers being quite precious and a little bit snowflakey and, well, let's say defensive about criticism. Now, in the world I inhabit, there is genuine criticism that has got nothing to do with tearing you down, and then there's trolling, which has everything to do with tearing you down. How have you managed to draw the line between what is criticism and what is trolling?
If you have multiple reviews, it's easier because you get the general gist about the issues. If something repeats multiple times, that's an issue, probably. It's not like one person is screaming, no, fix that, or I don't like that. It's repeats, so it must be an issue. And even in our reviews, we have like only one negative review currently, right? And the person who has played the game has played it for like 0.9 hours, so he's not played it a lot. And one of his first comments was, only tactic for winning is placing more towers. And Drac can attest that's not the case in our game. So if a review starts presenting false facts, you should take it in consideration in total, because if he's not telling how the game actually works, he doesn't understand it, and thus his critique, in his mind, he might be critiquing, but it's just false. So you have to maybe look more into what's actually written in those reviews or in feedback.
Yeah, I'd have to say if they played for just under an hour and that was their takeaway from it, I don't know, because going through several levels, it was this ordeal of you'd have to choose whether or not you wanted to place a new type of defense or just continue to upgrade the defenses you have and make them stronger. I know a lot of times I spent more time just upgrading the defenses I had rather than placing a new one unless I really felt I needed to. So I don't know that I would agree that that's the only strategy or that that's the most effective strategy, because I think if you don't upgrade the ones that you have, the stronger enemies may end up getting through even if you do have an additional tower or two, because you're limited on the currency you have to spend to build those things.
Yeah, and each subsequent tower costs more and more, so it's also kind of limiting just build towers. You can't get enough money, simple as that.
For me, reading that negative review, there is only one, and I'm surprised because when it comes to indie games, there's normally a myriad of negative trolling and so on. But this gentleman doesn't seem to have understood the fundamentals of this specific tower defense game. So perhaps maybe he's frustrated in the conveyance, being told how, where, and what. So perhaps maybe that's his issue there. I don't understand why that's the only strategy, putting towers down. That doesn't make any sense to me in the tower defense games I've played. So I think maybe he's a bit confused. But that is something that, unfortunately for me, I don't have to tear apart and analyze. That's something for yourselves. And judging by the way you take and have taken that particular comment and those things, I think you're doing very well compared to most developers out there.
I mean, I'm not like the programmer or game designer, so in my job I kind of need to look at those feedback critically so I can give the best information to the developing team so they can improve the game. So it's not like I'm just gonna skip the review or feedback and be like, okay, just he didn't like the game, move on. That's not how you improve your product.
I agree. Saying something shit doesn't actually help. It's saying where, what, and how, and finding a way to move forward and actually improve it. That, I think, is what genuine criticism is.
Yeah, and you can actually, I've seen in a lot of reviews, get a better feedback in a positive reviews that actually says negative things inside, because he might understand how the game works, he might like it, but he knows that's an issue. And if there are multiple people like that, you can just take it in account. That's, in my personal experience, how I look at it.
Okay, then. So I'm seeing on Steam that the game is on sale for $9.99. Is that the same price for mobile as well?
It hasn't been released in mobile, we haven't even ported, so I can't comment on that. Even if you're gonna, and it's also not set in stone that we will release on mobile. It's something we're looking into it. Because releasing a premium game on mobile, it can be hard.
Okay.
Put it bluntly.
No worries. And then are you guys with your pricing models? I don't even know if you can talk about it or not, but are you considering any microtransactions for the mobile side of things, or you're just going to cut that out entirely, not worry about that?
We definitely don't want the game to be paid in any case, because everybody in team is a gamer, feel like games, and microtransactions, they're good if they're done correctly. Like cosmetics, I think it's fine. Depends on the game. I might even defend some loot boxes. Don't shoot me, but I might defend some loot boxes. But we definitely don't want it to be a pay-to-win game, especially if people are paying for the game, because that's like double dipping, and that's unethical.
I'm very glad you said that. Double dipping is unethical. You already paid for the game. Why should you then therefore have to pay for more kits whilst in the game? Cosmetic, I haven't got a problem with. If the game goes free to play, well then I do understand the need for microtransactions. I mean, everybody's got to have roof over their heads, food in their bellies, and beer to drink. So I understand the need for microtransactions in that sort of sense.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, just because I know that a lot of times when you see a mobile title like this, where there is a currency used to purchase new things that can be used to play the game, like the new defenses that are there, sometimes there's a shortcut in the mobile games where you can actually pay a certain amount of money and get that currency to be used to get those upgrades versus like actually playing the game.
Yeah, but in our case, it's just a currency, so you can make decisions in what you want to unlock and what you want to upgrade. So it's not just like you get to the story, you reach level like 5 or 2-5 and you get that tower. We give you some currency to unlock what you want when you have enough of it. Not just you will have that, and that point.
Yeah, one thing I did notice, or one piece of I guess suggestion that I would have is when you unlock that stuff, at least in the build that I played, I didn't remember seeing a way to like say respec. So like if you purchased an option in there, I didn't see a way where you could undo that. So like if you purchased something that wasn't necessarily as useful towards the enemies that you were fighting and you wanted to go back and try something else instead, is that an option that you guys even considered at all or would consider adding, so you can like kind of basically go back to zero if need be and then repurchase your upgrades if you're stuck?
Funny story about that. Like in early January, somebody on Facebook wrote us and asked, how can I wipe my save? We're like, why would you need to wipe your save? I just want to respec and start the game from the beginning, because he completed all the levels on all the difficulties and he wants to start from the beginning. And we will add an option to respec, so you get all gems and you can start like from a clean save, so you don't have to go in directories and look for the save file.
Nice.
So yeah, if I'm not wrong, it's already in the game in like some patch, but it was added.
Okay, so Jurgis, please, could you tell me where someone like myself can go and buy this game in early access and actually go and enjoy myself and play it? Where can I go and get this game? Where can I find you? Where can I find your team? So on and so forth.
Currently, you can only get the game on Steam. It's called Seacurity Breach, and it costs $9.99, which we think is a really, really nice price for it. Like, aggressively competitive. That's how I like to put it. And you can find us on Facebook at Soaphog or Security Breach, and Twitter Soaphog or Security Breach. And if you write us there, you're pretty much writing me. And if you want to contact me directly, it's my name, Jurgis, at soaphog.com.
$9.99 on Steam. Dude, a game like this is worth at least 15, maybe even 18. That is a very, very well priced game.
Like I said, aggressively competitive.
I know I've been butchering your name for the past, 2 weeks, because my brain won't drop the EENS. So I keep coming to Jurgens, but it's Jurgis. I apologize.
My real name is Jurgis, and Jurgens is my username in pretty much everything.
Well, there we go. There's the confusion. We always have a question we like to offer to, or rather ask our special guests that come onto the Bamsters show. And it is always the penultimate question, the final question, the last question, the penultimate question.
We got it.
And Drac will ask it to you now.
Bam. One of these days we're going to learn you. All right. So, yes, as he said, we'll just jump right into it. What kind of bacon do you like? How do you like that bacon prepared? And what kind of beverage would you like to pair with said bacon, be it beer, cider, etc.?
Like I have said it in a previous podcast, I haven't fixed myself actually. I haven't tried a legit bacon since then. But in Latvia, we don't get the bacon you see in movies. It may be in some pastries or inside an omelette. So I would say bacon inside an omelette.
And then any particular beverage?
Depends on the time of day. It's more in the evening, then it would be a beer. If it's in the morning, because I don't like coffee, it would be a tea.
Bacon and tea. That is very English of you there.
Blame the fact that I don't like coffee.
Yeah, I'd say at least if he did like coffee, he'd picked coffee, he could make it Irish and put some whiskey in it.
That would be even more British.
Irish, not British. Irish.
I mean, it's
the name Irish coffee.
Wait, but United Kingdom, isn't it the whole thing British?
Whoa! No!
Only England is British.
No! Right, the United Kingdom is the sovereignties of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
Not the Ireland, actually.
Yeah, Northern Ireland is in the United Kingdom. Britain is just England, Scotland, Wales. Yeah, that. Let's leave it at that. There's a little brief geography lesson for you. Don't confuse the two.
Blame Crusader Kings too, because if you start in an Ireland or in England, you just conquer everything and it's your country. So,
William the Conqueror tried to sort of gain Ireland, I believe, if I get my history right. But let's leave it there. There's a whole lot of political mess right now, thanks to Brexit. So let's leave it there. Let's leave it there.
Sure.
Jurgens, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for redoing this interview, and I think I owe you a massive apology. So from myself, I am sorry I've wasted your time. And thank you very much for giving me the chance to actually talk to you and share your game to the rest of the internet.
Yeah, and thanks for coming back on. We definitely appreciate your patience and coming back to see us again.
No problem. Bam was really, really sorry. And we even played the anthem together, so I couldn't just bail on him.
Bit of the anthem love right there already. Right, guys, from me, Bam Havoc, I'm out. I've got to go edit this now. So, bye.
As Bam would say, toodle pip.
Oh, yes, of course. Toodle pip.